This is the weekly weather with Maxina and April, where no matter the forecast, it's always sunshine and snow.
Hello, my friend. Some Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the beautiful weather. And if it's raining elsewhere, thank you for that too. Thank you for getting us here. Thank you for a busy month. And thank you for this chance to talk. And my friend April today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. So yeah, how's the weather? Seems like maybe just a little all over the place. Windy maybe. Breezy. I don't know. It's been a mess.
Lots of things going on.
It's been a mess, yeah.
Yeah. I personally, nothing right now that's particularly stormy. My social circle, friends of mine, sisters, both had really big weeks, very exciting things going on. So it's just been a lot of outward focus. And so maybe I guess that's sunny weather, you know.
Yeah.
It is sunny weather because you're to and fro when it's sunny, you know. When it's raining or storming, you're kind of hunkering down and staying inside. So it's sunny in a lot of different skies right now, and it's been fun to be a part of that. Especially two of my friends have been in similar predicaments, and I've been in a season of helping them get through that in particular ways. And somehow, in totally unrelated ways, they both came into their solutions, and it's just been, I got to be, helping one here and doing this, and I got to celebrate with another doing that. And so not a lot of inward thought or focus. And I think that's made me feel like I've been very unproductive. I'm behind on where I wanted to be on book 2 right now. I think that's making me feel a little underaccomplished. But I'm getting ready to go on a trip.
Trips are good.
Yes. So we'll get to chit-chat next week on a trip. That'll
With
be
you
so
on
much
the
fun.
road, okay.
Yes.
It would be interesting.
It's not entirely an author trip, but I do get to do some author stuff along the way. So
That'll be nice. Okay. I
think
look
so.
forward to hearing back on that.
Yeah.
That will be nice.
I'll report to you next week when we're checking in with each other.
Nice.
When's the weather with you?
I feel like I'm in the eye of a hurricane. Oh wait, no, not the eye of the storm. Like the eye might be coming, but it's just a lot happening. It is a lot happening everywhere, and a lot of demands and a lot of everybody needs, and I don't know. It's been a hot mess. I'm looking forward to this weekend, though, because my mom will be in town.
For Mother's Day.
Well, she's not coming for Mother's Day, but it works out that way.
Oh, good.
So, yes. So, hopefully, next Thursday, I'll be able to report back that I was able to pull together the this mini family reunion that I'm trying to get together. But so far, it has been roadblock. And then part of me goes, is that because we're not supposed to do it? Or the right place is going to come at the right moment, and then I'll be like, see, that's what I was worried about the whole time. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it all turns out.
Well, I hope it turns out in such a way that everybody is filled with edification and gratitude.
Right?
That's a perfect scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, we do need that. It's been crazy.
The last time we touched base, there was some, and I don't remember if it was on air or not, a lot of demands outside of your control of what's really on your plate, and the things that are within your control to perhaps take off your plate are things that you don't want to take off your plate in order to accommodate the things that have filled up your plate.
Listen, I want the ice cream sundae. I don't want the broccoli, the liver, and the onions that has been put upon my plate, okay? Happy to give those to somebody else so I can eat the ice cream sundae. That's what I want. Okay. So with the microgreens, that
Do tell.
has been an insane flux. So the beginning of last month, we find out that there's another microgreens vendor who's joined the market just for the month, supposedly. And even though I overheard them the last week of the month telling people we'll be here every week. And so I was like, oh, okay. But then they weren't there the next weekend. So I went, okay, maybe they were, like, what was that about? Who knows? But whatever. We found out through that experience that there's room for both of us. And that, no, they weren't on the map, but then they ended up being there. That's what it was. I was like, aha. I knew something was funny. But some people were like, oh my God, did you know? And we're like, there's room for both of us. We have stuff, they have stuff. We might not have what you want, and they might. So there's room for both of us.
Yes.
I'm trying to be very gracious and not be all angsty about it. But there is another local microgreens vendor who doesn't do the market. They just as a small amount of customers, but their customers are restaurants and a small market. And they have decided to stop. And so when the other vendor showed up, we were like, man, we keep having to tell people we're sold out at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. We're there till 2.
Yes.
And that really had us feeling bad. So we spent money, bought 2 new racks, more trays, the whole setup to be able to grow 40 additional trays of microgreens.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks later, we find out that this other vendor doesn't want to do it anymore, and she's like, I'll sell you my stuff and my list.
Wow.
And it's double the amount of supply as what we just spent a ton of money on,
Okay.
plus a few extra, plus her list,
Yeah.
her customer list.
Which is gold.
For little more than half the cost that we like. So the investment was like, it was a no-brainer.
Yes.
It was like, even if she didn't offer the customers, if she'd only given us half of the stuff, it still would have been a great deal. And so we're like, whoo.
Well, now it's where you were largely shifting into
Yes.
that area.
Correct.
Anyway. I mean,
And
that's what that's your
happened
brand.
quickly. It happened very quickly. And so Carl has been very busy these past few weeks, bless his heart. But the last couple of days was moving stuff to storage, making room for the additional, getting soil ready, getting seeds sown. And it's just this, okay, there's just one more layer, one more layer. But our house is so cute with all the green. It's so pretty.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So
that feeling
pretty.
with green everywhere.
It's so pretty.
Yay.
But I also feel like my dining room turned music room is going to happen sooner rather than later because there's not room for a dining room table. It needs to go. We need to clear the space. We need to be able to move. And so I feel like that's right around the corner. And I'm very excited for that to happen.
That is very exciting. Is there an intentional, like, few days or whatever off that y'all plan to take before launching into the bigger market? It seems like y'all are both in a season where that might be beneficial.
The market takes the month of August off.
Okay.
And we have something that needs to be done at the house that a weekend would be perfect to have would be perfect for. So we may end up taking 2 of the August off.
Okay.
Mainly because of timing. We can't just take 1 off because stuff has to be growing for the following week already, and the timing. So we may end up with 2 weeks, 2 weekends that we can take off. The first one in August is our anniversary. So that
might be your opportunity, the right time and place. Okay.
And so,
if there's anything that I can do to help, take something off your plate so that way y'all can enjoy your time or something, then let me know or help
definitely.
out. I know you have a house full of things and people and lots of things or whatever, but I know y'all been burning the candles. Both of your candles at both ends.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's been fireworks.
But y'all are both just constantly and I knew it on your end, but I saw it in Carl's eyes at Bible study.
Yes.
And so I thought, oh, okay, they're both okay. Yeah. So.
Now he tonight is at an event for Doris Sanders School. Is that correct? A local school. They're doing a benefit dinner, and he's one of the keynote speakers, and he's talking to them about microgreens and the possibility of introducing a curriculum for the students to be able to grow and like be part of their lesson.
That's excellent.
He's already doing it at Pathway School for the autistic. They do farm to table. He's helped them with, they get to come and actually do microgreen, like sow it, water it, care for it, then harvest it and take it to the table. But then they also have raised planter beds where they rotate out the different vegetables. And so they had beets one time, and that was fun. He went and actually cooked them for them and had a whole presentation. And sweet beet, brown sugar, maybe honey, something, I don't remember now, but he made them sweet and little cubes of them, and they loved them. So that's what he's doing tonight, and he's been a keynote speaker, and so I'm pretty impressed with him. He's doing things.
Doing the thing. Saw the vision, went after the thing, and running the race and doing the things. I've known you guys,
about
6 years or something.
Has it been that long?
I was when I started going to that church.
Has it been 6 years?
2020 was when I started going, and I think I feel like y'all were always there the whole time that I was there.
We started back in 2013. So
yeah. So
it just I don't know. 2020 does not feel like it was 6 years ago. And then we go,
it's a little wild.
It's 2026, and it's like, oh
yeah.
That is 6 years, but it doesn't. Which is also weird, because on one hand, it's like it's been 20 years since 2020, and on the other hand, it's been like a minute.
Right? Like, oh god, that was so long ago.
Being married.
Yeah.
This August will be 30 years.
Okay.
30 years.
Oh,
but then on the other hand, I'm like, no, it's like just a couple years ago. Like, what do you mean we have
we're still
grown
newlyweds,
kids?
right?
Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's so weird that I don't want to overuse it, but the juxtaposition that time does to you, like something can feel like it has been an eternity, and at the same time feel like it was just the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so baffling how that happens.
It feels like the emotional eliciting that a memory brings. Like, that is what feels so close. Like I feel like the little girl still, or I feel like I was still there emotionally. Like, I can step into that space emotionally so easily that it was just yesterday. The memory is like that.
Right.
And then, but when you sort of do the flashback thing of everything that has happened in between,
it's like, wait a minute, there's been 17 lifetimes. What are you talking about?
Then you feel like you were like standing in a mirror and then realized it was a portal.
Yes.
And you're like, whoa. Yes. What is that?
Well, I've said this to some people recently, that if it wasn't for children, I don't think that we would recognize that time passes.
I have a poem kind of like that.
Do you really?
I did. That's well, not children specifically, but just like it's called The Mirror's Trick, or A Mirror's Trick. It'll be in my third book, I think. Or maybe my second. But yeah, just this, like, how you reflect back, and there's nothing really that shows you the passing of time except for these little mile markers of things, of important passages. And
even looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
Over the past decade, the length of my hair, the color of my hair, is really the only thing that's changed.
Yes.
I'm like, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
You pull out a photograph and I go, oh,
well,
I guess maybe I did change. But looking in the mirror every day, nothing has changed.
Nothing, yeah. I feel like I have to read it. Can I read it?
Absolutely.
I'll just read it. I'm like, I feel this is what the podcast.
But I'm watching my child grow before me and become a woman. I say woman because I have girls and they are becoming women. I don't have any boys, so I can't say they're grown. But for people with boys, right?
Yes.
Like this little man, he's just this little guy, and then all of a sudden he's a grown man standing in your face talking to you.
And you're like, where'd that deep voice come from? What are you doing?
And it's like, if it wasn't for children, I don't think we would recognize that there's actually a passage of time.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
it's so crazy.
I think you're right. The next generation coming up. Yes.
Yeah.
The generational. This one's called. It says it's in book 5. That's wrong. Anyway.
You're like, and if that's what I was doing, I'm doing something different now.
Yeah. That writer doesn't know what she was talking about. This writer does. And it might have even been edited from this, so it might morph by the time it makes it into the book. But it's called The Mirror's Trick. One day it just happens, almost like growing. You see no difference from day to day, but then there it is. The morning you see yourself as you were, and then you notice you've been gone. At the starting line of 1,000 miles. Only the scenery kept you aware of the passing time, passing youth, passing thoughts, and a changing life.
I do like that one.
Thank you.
Oh, speaking of
changing scenery. Yes, ma'am.
I've started the book. I've read some. I'm making note. I've got little tabs.
The beta. Oh,
and
I gave you a beta copy. That's right, I did.
Yes.
Hey.
And so I'm putting little tabs in, mainly of, this is like one word that this elicits, like, fantastic, yeah, whatever.
Yay.
Like just
Okay,
just so you know what my favorites were,
Snaps,
and
snaps.
also to remind me what my favorites were, because I always get to the end and go, I don't know, it was all good. I don't know.
It's all fuzzy.
But yeah. And I think there was one spot that I was like, maybe a typo. I feel like I did the same thing last time, but I actually put a note so I don't forget where it was. But it is so wild to me how similar, like, those could be my stories. But our lives were not the same. Like, they're so different. And yet, I'm like, yep, that's me. Yeah, oh, that was absolutely me. That was exactly what I was going through at a period in my life. And why is that we all feel so alone in our lives to find out that we're all living the same life? Like,
what a very poignant question.
We end up doing this competition for whose life was best and whose life was worst.
Yeah.
And you could swing that pendulum either way, but it ends up being a competition. If you feel like you had a really great life and you're like, oh, my life was so... And then somebody else feels like, but my life was better. And it's like...
Yeah.
But they were really a lot alike.
Yeah.
Like, a lot alike. And then you've got people who, man, I've been through some things. And it's like, I've been through some things too. And, well, I've been through more. But my thing was way worse. It's like... Really though? Or was it just a little different? And
yes.
We've all been through crap.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like it's been, and it's like, oh, I know that several episodes back I made the comment that there's a little theory that I'm like, I wonder if, and the theory that maybe our souls existed before they were birthed here on Earth, and maybe we actually participated in the plan, right? What were we thinking? Yes. I mean, I want to learn the lessons, but did we all really agree to all of this nonsense?
Did I really sign up for that? Would I have done that?
Yes. Man, how did he make that sound fun? Yeah, that's a lesson I want to learn.
Did I read the fine print on that? I don't know about that.
Man. Oh.
And we're all just sort of, thrown into it.
That's
but I
crazy.
think that is significant that there's, and I guess that's really what I guess you would define as humanity. Is that there's the humanity in us is truly the same. They say if you cut us, it bleeds red, but it's more than that. It goes way deeper than that. Lament and anguish and hope and desire and weakness. It's all
followed
there.
by strength.
Yes, yeah, it's all there. And we all have this set of cards for an old analogy, and I don't know, you can sit there and bitch about what you got, or you can figure out how it plays out. I've done a lot of both.
Right?
Done a lot of both. And see, there's probably, you can see some of that on the page itself, it's noodling all of that out. But no, it touches me deeply to know that it resonates and it feels so relevant to you. Yeah. And we've spoken enough to know that our experiences really aren't that similar.
They're so different.
Yes.
And yet,
and
the one, the feral child.
Right, yes.
And it's funny because I picture the girl on that page not walking down a dirt road, but an actual asphalt road, barefoot, doing what she's doing, more in a city, town location. But my version of that same child is walking barefoot down a dirt road in the hills of Arkansas. And yes. I was there. It was just, I'm like, yeah, I got them blisters on my feet too. So yeah. And it's just, it's cool. The city mouse, country mouse.
Yes.
different points in our times there. But, we were both walking down those dirty roads and doing things because we didn't know better.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that one really resonates with me.
It comes in.
Oh.
It comes in. I think right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you let me know if there's too much heaviness right at the. My editor let me know she thinks there's a little too much heaviness at the beginning, and I don't. That was one of the reasons why. So my 5th book. I there's a lot of poetry that I have centered around my mental health things while I was going through it, and sometimes reflecting back on it. And I was intentionally like, I have to somehow alternate the moods of these these poems, because my readers are going to walk away wanting to slit their wrists, and I'm not.
I don't want to be responsible for that.
I'm not going to be responsible for that. I don't want to do that. There's hope in this world, please, So, no, I do want to be attentive to, like, the heaviness. And I think poetry books themselves tend to be read or people who read poetry books tend to read them broken up. Mm-hmm. You don't sit down and read a poetry book. Right. You just kind of pick it up and read a few at a time, and that's the more palatable way to work through it. But I still want to have. I don't want to come in like, oh, my life was just so miserable.
Right. No.
Like, there were hard things about it.
I'm not that far. And the change in your father and you witnessing it from young eyes is very, like, that spark of light happening. So no, okay. I think it's
yay. Okay.
That
is
so far
close to the front. Okay.
So far, I think.
All right.
I think it's fine.
All right. Okay.
But your life was what your life was.
Yeah, I can't help that it was a little bit messy at the beginning. That wasn't my fault. That was
right.
That was my dumbass parents' fault.
They signed up.
That was them not cleaning up their life before bringing kids into the world. What were they thinking? They need to take responsibility for that, not me.
Real.
That's all right.
I love that. That's funny.
It's a tell-all. It's an expose of my terrible parents. Good thing they're dead. No. I miss them.
I mean, I guess good thing that they are, because at least now you can share the stories
right now I can
without
just say, without
having to hear about it later. But
it's really my biological mother. Like, it's a little bit of my stepmother, because there were some things in there, and I don't think any mother-daughter relationship is perfect. I had 2 of them, and plus I had foster mothers and my aunt mother and my sister mother, and they're all a little bit wonky. So here's the relationships with mothers. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
That's funny. Oh. Ooh.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
That's good. I'm going to have dinner with my aunt for Mother's Day, and I'm very excited about that. She's the one who took us in when she took us out of the foster home. She was technically a foster home, because anytime you're under the guardianship of the state and I'm sure you know that, but so she was our second foster home technically, but she was our aunt. It was like, hey, people we know, that's great, being in a space where you're just pulled away from everybody you don't know anybody. Your identity is completely separate from everybody in the house, and everybody in the house's identity is completely separate from yours, and it's just and the foster home we went to was like, it was like 10 kids there or something. Maybe I felt like there was a wide table. Then there was at least a girl there that was like a little bit younger than me, and she was precious, and her and I got along really well. And then she was like kind of a baby, like toddlerish baby. And then There was a girl who was a little bit older than me, and she was allergic to dish soap. And I remember thinking, gosh, that is the best allergy ever. I wish I could be allergic to dish soap, because I had already had this aversion. And not like I had been like told to wash a lot of dishes and I don't know why I hated dishes so much already as a kid, but I just was like, dishes were the grossest thing to me ever. So, I didn't like doing them because we had to share chores in the foster house. So it was like it was so repulsive. And so I was jealous that she never had to do the dishes, and I wanted a dish soap allergy. And then there were a couple of kids, funny. I know. This is like the things that we remember. And then a couple of the kids, I think, were like more like closer around my sister's age, because I remembered there was kind of a little bit of a social group that she was with. The dad was, I don't remember a lot about him, like conversationally. He was a very animated Baptist preacher with dark hair, and it was like in like this like slicked back, almost like it was very voluminous, kind of like helmeted look. And I kind of remember that because when he bounced on stage, it would bounce too. And so it was just, I just remember there was so much animation on stage, and she, for some reason, I always felt like she resembled my mother, and I don't know if I just transposed the memory or if she really did have, like, she had long blonde wavy hair, and I don't remember what her face looks like at all. I don't remember that at all. But I remember she had this silvery blonde hair, and it reminded me of my mother's. And she was good about saying prayers with us. And that was, like, really the first time that we had like prayers, said over us at night, because my dad had just sort of like gotten to where he was starting to clean up whenever my mom took off with us, and then they found us, and then we got thrown into foster care. So it was like my dad had like started to try to take us to church, but it fell apart. Everything fell apart really quickly after that. So it was like, I was exposed to it. Like I knew who this Jesus was. I knew who we were praying to. I knew who God was. But this was the first time that there was this like real pattern of like prayer in church was in the foster home. So, and when I got in trouble, I had to write sentences. And so I will not. Royal hardly ever had to write sentences. I wrote sentences almost every other day. Was
it because she was really that good, or just because she didn't get caught?
She was just always like more shy and reserved. Like she was a rule follower, and I was very much not any of those things. I'm Rampage Max. I was the Tasmanian Devil. Okay. I was aptly named. Max, the volume on the control, yeah, that was me always. So, not sitting still in my seat, not, doing as I'm told, not staying on task, talking back, and, rage fits too. I think I probably like threw things sometimes, or like the. I also I remember always having kind of a really like strong sense of like righteousness, and so if I saw something I didn't like, or somebody was like bullying, or like, I'd be like, I was, you ain't pulling out with me.
I remember getting a couple of fights. Very protective over my brother. Did not need me to protect him. He was older, a little bit bigger, but yet I was.
So you're like, I got this.
He's my brother, and if anybody's making fun of him, calling him names, it's me. Like,
right? Yeah.
You back off, like whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember going home from school, and we had my granny's husband was in charge, Mr. Richard. We called him Papa, but whatever. And we had to be home like he knew how long it took to walk from the school to the house, and you had that long to get there. And there was this other little family wide range of kids. Like, I think they had a kid in every grade from kindergarten to 5th grade. Like,
Just stair step.
they absolutely.
Do, 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 do.
And they would stop us at this one point, and they would just torment us, and it was like, just let us go. Like, we don't even care, right? We just don't want to get in trouble when we get home. Like, please, you just don't understand. Like, you are really just not making life good for us right now. And I remember bowing up one day, and not at the little ones. I would have been 2nd grade when we lived out there. And I think the older one was like 5th grade. And I was in his face. I absolutely did. I think that's when I realized my inner man, 7 foot tall.
Right, yeah. You want to throw down?
I was ready.
With your tiny voice.
And I'm like, they were like, wait, what? Like, and it was just enough to be very disarming, and we booked it and whatever. But we got in trouble because we were late getting home, and it was just. But yeah, no, well, shoot,
but you brought the feist.
7th grade, there was some girl making fun of my brother about something. I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, he said whatever. And I was like, that's it. Throw it down at the bus stop. And then they're like, you're not allowed to fight. And I went, and is she allowed to speak the way she was speaking? Nah, so whatever. Every time I got in a fight, and I got in a couple.
What is this not allowed?
I got in a couple fights.
I got
which
fists.
Is so weird. I was such a good kid. Moved around a lot, and I was always the quiet one. Stayed to, minded business, whatever. But yeah, got in a couple fights.
That was me.
A couple of no good fights, but
there's not a. Yeah, elementary school I got in fights. Middle school I got in fights. High school I got in fights. My last fight was freshman year though, there was, I've been in adult fights. I did get arrested, but that's a whole other story. But no, I was always willing to throw it. There was nothing stopping me. Like you wasn't going to stop me. And usually it was like defensive, it wasn't like I wasn't trying to get my way with somebody.
Right.
I was
You
trying
weren't
to
out there
stop them
looking
from
for
doing
it.
their
Right.
shenanigans or whatever. Just trying to be controlling over a situation that I can't control. But oftentimes it was a friend. Like, you ain't going to do that to my friend. And sometimes it was with a friend. I fought people who... And then sometimes I fought with people and then became friends with them afterwards. That's happened. And that's great. That's the best. That's the best.
Cool, because then they know, listen.
Right, yeah. You done tested each other's wits and,
We don't need to.
Right.
We good.
You know the boundaries. I'll go there with you. I ain't the one.
Or the 2 or the 3.
Or the 3. Yeah. I try to be much more gentle these days. The Holy Spirit's working on me.
Yeah.
Although...
Save the round.
Right, yeah. I'm not that I don't think that there are situations where you don't need to carry a sword. I'm not, a total pacifist necessarily. And I think that is a necessary, part of humanity or mankind or whatever, like defensive, like being able to defend oneself.
Right.
I think that is a right. That's an absolute right. So, but... I don't go looking for fights.
Right.
I'm not quite as jumpy as I was before.
What's funny is my dad and Carl too. Anybody come into my house to affect my family?
Just you wait.
And I just look at Carl and I go, I'd really hope that you listen to the Holy Spirit on that first.
Yeah.
And he's like, gives me a side eye. I'm like, listen. There were times he told people to fight. There were times he told them to hide in a den.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not supposed to. We don't know why.
Right. Act with discernment first.
I would hope
Yes.
that you would do the thing that I know you know to do, sir. And he's like, yes. And I was like, okay, as long as you know.
All right.
So I don't know.
But dudes like to be able to joke about it, you know.
Well,
they like to.
but he's also the guy who said that, the white line around the stop sign means to yield. And so my then 14-year-old daughter is getting ready to learn how to drive, and she thinks because he says it all the time. I said, listen, your dad doesn't lie, but he does have jokes. And that was a joke.
That's a joke.
If it meant yield, it would say yield.
It would say yield. Oh, yikes.
But that is when I knew we had the trust of our children.
Mm. Yes. That's what he said, and so that's just what I believe.
It was
yep.
You need to be careful, Carl.
Yep.
You can't just be saying anything just willy-nilly.
That's what it is to have faith of a child.
Yes.
Unquestioningly so. I heard it said.
I heard this one time. What is it? Oh. What did I
This
say?
tea is so good. I'm so
Deja
glad I
vu.
mixed
I was
these.
having conversations with Linda about deja vu over the years many times, because that sense of having been here before, I have had that so often over the years. And I told her, I said, I feel like having moments like that, it's just a confirmation that we are where we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are where you're supposed to be, and that's why something is so familiar about it. And so she has taken that, and so somebody has deja vu. She's like, just means you are where you're supposed to be. And she's like, so basically I'm sharing that lore with people.
Yeah.
Pretty soon it's gonna just be known.
Yeah,
and
everybody,
and I'll be like,
thing.
all right, yeah, cool.
Things catch like wildfire. I am telling you, there are things that I've said, and then like I would see it on like just randomly on the internet on somebody's page, like months later. I'm like, I know that was my idea, but okay, that's all right.
Well, there is nothing new under the sun.
That's
So
exactly
who
what I
had-
always tell myself.
Who had
like,
the thought
all right.
first? Well, okay.
I'm the genius. I thought.
So
it up.
you are a dozen younger than me. So I don't know if you'll remember it like I
You
do.
should clear your throat that way. Not
Because
quite.
I want to say I would have been 10 when Oprah. You know who Oprah is, right?
I know who Oprah
Okay.
is. Yeah.
So back in the day when she was just Oprah on the Oprah Winfrey Show and not having her own show,
network.
you know.
Yeah.
We were going somewhere with that and made funny, and I
10
don't
years
know.
old.
10 years old. Oh, she had somebody on, and they were talking about, it was kids that were in a hurry to get pregnant, like so 12, 14, I think Max was 15. Like they were too young to be having babies, right? But I want to have a baby. And so the expert brought computerized baby dolls and gave them to the girls, and they had to take care of these dolls for a period of time and then bring them back and then find out, did you kill your baby? Did you take care of your baby? Have you absolutely lost your mind? And I remember several years prior to that, and my mom had this idea, and she was like, it would be a fabulous idea to have a baby doll that's computerized, because computers weren't everywhere, but computerized things were abounding. And someone that she
it was
dated,
computer age the way space age was with the launch of the rockets. It's
right.
like it's around, it's here, people are familiar with it, and it's really like everybody's like,
and she had a friend of the guy she was dating, and he was in IT, and she was like, oh, I would love this idea, and then it just like disappeared. And so then here it is on television. She was mad. She was like,
they stole my idea,
right? Like,
yes.
And then you kind of go, like, did they? Or was somebody else having the idea at the exact same time? Like, who knows, right? When I had Carrie, so 26 years ago, I remember thinking, we had just gotten cell phones. Like us. Like, had just gotten a cell phone in our hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I can just imagine, like, I remember when I was little, 5 years old, Mommy, I'm going to go to the neighbor's house. And when you'd get to the neighbor's house, you'd pick up the phone, you'd call, and you'd tell Mom that you got there and you're fine, everything, whatever. And I was like, I wouldn't dare let my kid walk outside the yard. Like, are you kidding me? I was like, man, you almost need a phone that they can't call anybody and everybody. They don't need access to the world, but they need access to 911.
Yeah.
Mom, Dad, maybe one other person, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And then they came out with the little kid phones.
And there was a thing that, send us your ideas, we'll help you get it patented, whatever. And I sent in the idea, and then crickets, and then literally a year and a half, 2 years later, I think they called it the cricket. That's why I said cricket.
Crickets.
Like, it just made me mad. And I was like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're just farming ideas.
Man.
Yeah.
I was like, now I know what my mom felt like. Man, you keep them ideas to yourself.
Yes.
Keep them on lockdown.
You guard your ideas. But it's so expensive to get, like, trademarks and patents and all of that. I mean, it's not, it is not an easy process. You're talking about thousands of dollars. So it's, sometimes it feels better just to know that something exists in the world.
Right?
Than it does to know that it
would have been nice to make some bazillions off of it. It would have been nice.
Yeah.
Shoot, or to have the idea that the government hates so much that they want to pay you to not develop it.
To not, right, yeah.
I have heard of that happening.
Yes. Please don't develop this technology. That'd be great. It really competes with the other industry that we're trying to bolster and fuel.
Who was it? I want to say it was somebody that my father-in-law knew.
No. Oh, it happens all the time.
He had developed something that could be put
They'll
into
buy
the
a patent.
car.
They'll buy a patent just to put it in, like, oh yeah, we don't need that.
We're not going to do that.
That's not.
But yeah, it was to extend the life of your engine,
Mm-hmm.
and they went, yeah, here's some money, and that's ours now. Thank you.
Thanks.
And then it never got developed.
Yep.
Never got made.
See the light of day.
Really, but it was a brilliant idea, and you're now not allowed to do it.
Yes.
Because it's there.
Yeah.
That's not
Upset the industry people.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's just one of those things that Christians kind of get to enjoy life a little bit more because, yes, we know those things are happening. We see them happening, and sometimes we have to work around them, and they do come after us and that. I'm not like we're floating above it, but at least we know that there's something else beyond all of the bull crap and shenanigans that are going on. It's like, all right, okay, have fun, I guess. It's temporary.
Do the thing.
Yeah, you're gonna do the thing. Clearly, you've done the thing. You've been doing the thing, but it's temporary. Yep. But no, it's because I looked even just like in trademarking certain things. It's like $800 just for. Yeah, it's really expensive. Now for like to own a name of something, like to DBA something, that kind of thing. It was just like a doing business as. That's not as much. So it gives you a little bit of protection, but trademarking is really great protection, but it's very expensive.
I want to say the funniest trademark story that I have heard is about Sierra Mist. The Pepsi brand of Sprite, the lemon lime. There was a TikTok creator. She made content before TikTok, adult content, and her name was Sierra Mist, not spelled the same. And Pepsi reached out and said, "You need to change your name." And she went, "No, I don't." And they sent her a letter, cease and desist. due to trademark infringements. Well, she did her due diligence and she looked. Their trademark had been expired for years. She bought it.
And so now they don't have Sierra Mist.
Which is why you now have Pepsi has Starry.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon lime.
Which is more of a stripper name than Sierra Mist, but we won't go there.
Yeah. They tried when they realized what they had done, they tried so hard to buy it back. And she was like,
sorry.
Nope.
Yeah.
Because now she makes more off of the lore of the,
right.
like you, than.
Yeah. You made me famous. Thanks, guys. Yikes. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of funny, though.
The business world is so
I wondered
hairy.
why all of a sudden there wasn't Sierra Mist anymore, and now there's this weird story. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah. Corporate news is always really funny, like business news and buyouts and things like that. And I don't know. It's like, you know how some people are really into celebrity drama?
Mm-hmm.
Like, corporate drama is kind of
That's
kind
your
of fun to
jam.
read about. It's that and like cults. I like reading about cults. You know, I think we've talked about that maybe a couple of times. What that doing, reading, brainwashing. You know, that sort of thing.
It's scary how easy it can be for some people. Like, just so easy to fall for the whatever.
And intelligence is nary a factor. In fact, highly intelligent people are very easily swayed into cult living.
And there's a fine line between community and cult.
Absolutely, yes, yes, actually. And one of the primary things, one of the main things, is isolation of information. If somebody says, no, you're not allowed to go and seek information outside of what I'm telling you, that's isolation of information is like one of the top markers. Whereas if somebody's like, here's what I'm telling you, go test it yourself.
Right.
That's a totally, say go test what I'm saying is a totally different thing than to say, this is what I'm saying, and you're not allowed to test. You're not allowed to question. You're not allowed to seek information outside of it. And that part to me is always the thing that trips me up about intelligent people getting caught up into cult like things.
Well, because they
I'm
don't.
like,
they
how?
don't
What do
treat,
you mean I can't ask questions?
I'm sure that that's not right out the front
That's
door,
me.
though, right?
Right. Well, sometimes yes, but sometimes no.
Right.
Sometimes it's.
I've built just enough of a reputation with you that now you trust me. So when I say,
Right. Yes. Yeah.
oh, we're just gonna unplug and we're gonna just live without all that
Yeah,
noise.
that negativity.
Doesn't that sound good though? Like if I could just put my
Yes.
phone in a box and not
One
not
of the ways that
touch
they
me for a while.
do it is by creating division between like an us versus them. Like in Scientology, they call it a suppressive person. So if you're somebody who speaks against their way, their belief, because they do a lot of like family separation BS.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but if you speak out against it, you're being a suppressive person. And they're actually taught to go and be aggressively like attacking the people, like if they see them in public, they'll stalk them. They'll go because they're being a suppressive person because they've gone outside of the cult's belief system and trying to, it's so wild,
Right?
so wild. It's devastating, is what it is. Whole lives just ruined by just manipulation and. Scientology is particularly awful. R.L. Hubbard's like just because he was very clearly wanted to just simply because a lot of cult leaders they're actually crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just like, yeah, no, I'm just getting my rocks off of being able to write these books and having people believe them. And then you have other like older religions. I think, they knew perhaps that they were starting a religion, but I still think that there's a lot of religions in the world where the people really believed what it was that they were preaching. A lot of times they do. R.L. Hubbard, not. He didn't believe a word of what he was saying, and espoused it. That to me is especially heinous and corrupted.
That's ugh. But yeah.
I don't know if you've read any history of that or ever got into that.
Oh, I watched the documentary, not documentary, the
Going Clear.
With Leah Remini and.
Oh, it was an interview.
Well, it was a whole series of like it was a whole couple of seasons where they would have different people on, like that had finally broken free, and they would talk about the nonsense that their life was while they were in there.
It was a seasons-long thing?
It was a couple of seasons.
About Scientology specifically?
Yes.
Send that to me. I would love to see that. That sounds fascinating.
And I'm trying to remember
what
what it was.
Seasons-long thing. Like, I love a documentary about that kind of stuff.
I don't know documentary, but very like
expose,
interview.
like
interview and come on and let's talk about it, and then they really went it.
I could totally. I would totally get.
I feel like there were seasons because I think I went through one or two and then was like, man, this is kind of heavy, and there was like more, and I went.
You're like, oh my gosh,
man. I mean, yay, a lot of people are getting away. Thank God.
Right,
but it was.
Oh, yeah. After a while, it's like devastation after devastation after devastation.
And it always, with the money.
Yeah.
You sign over all your money to us.
Yeah.
I think that would be my first clue that somebody is up to no good.
Yeah.
You want, wait, why do I have to give you my money? Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
No, I'm willing to share and help, but you just, to give it to you completely? Wait, what?
But the like bridgeway to whatever, that's the big shiny trophy at the end of it, right? It's like, that's the promise. Submit to this life and you'll be able to unlock all of your potentiality and all of the things that, it's kind of like, when people preach that the Holy Spirit erases everything and puts a perfect thing in its place. You know what I mean? Like, there's no actual process of sanctification. You're just a new perfect thing and you never sin again. But scripture says, if somebody says they're a sinner, then they're not a sinner, then they're a liar. But is that same concept of like, I'm going to give you this promise. You give me this and I have this promise of like, it's self-deification, essentially. Because what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish is this. And he built it up years and years. Like, he would, at like what it used to be when he first wrote it, he kept writing more and more books because people would get to the top and he wanted more money out of them. So then he would write more books, so that way they would have to complete this book, complete this level, and then every time they like do an update or a revision, oh no, you have to go back and complete that level. And so these people who have gone clear is what they call at the end. You get to read the sacred documents at the end. Have you read about that? You heard about what the sacred documents are and what they reveal? Oh, God.
I'm sure it's no good. I think I gave up before that.
It's comical.
Oh, God.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so you've heard about the cans. Like, oh, God. Let me tell you the whole thing. So they have these cans and you hold them and you do like this confession thing and somebody's reading. They're like, oh, yeah, you have to do this and that. And so it's like they start this bond of connection because you're confessing in order to get rid of these ugly things in your life, right? Then as you start to get in, they call it like, these are thetans. And you have to get these thetans off of you. They're these tiny souls, basically, that you need to get off of you. And these thetans are the cause of like jealousy and anger and it's like it's these thetans. And of course, the confession is part what helps gets these thetans off of you.
Okay.
But you do that for years, and you're going and you're completing all of these levels of these books, of these things. And actually what they're doing is oftentimes subjecting you to torture techniques through these books and through this process of going clear. Once you finally go clear, they give you these sacred documents, which is more bullshit that R.L. Hubbard wrote. And he explains what the thetans are. And he says that in a universe, a different time, a long time ago, there was a world very similar to ours, with people very similar to ours, but the king, I think Xenu is his name, declared war on the world and sent bombs into the volcanoes, and all the souls in the world dispersed out, like it killed them all, and those are the Thetans, and they went out into the universe, and now they're on us, and so that's what the whole thing is, a confession, and now you've gone clear, and now you know where the Thetans come from, and blase blase.
Okay.
That's your whole, that's the pinnacle. That's their pinnacle of going clear after hundreds of thousands of dollars, being isolated, separating from their family, being a slave to the system and the Sea Org or this or that or whatever. That's their big reward, is getting another science fiction story from R.L. Hubbard saying, this is why you're a sinner. That's what they get. That's what they get. And then they go out there and they perpetuate the crap. Oh, I've gone clear, and this is... Because then at that point, you're like, it was a fallacy of investment or whatever.
Sunk cost.
Yes, it's the fallacy of sunk cost. Like, I've gone this far, and this... it's like you want it to be this really, truly rewarding thing. And some people at that point get like, oh, this is all BS, and then they get out of it. But the ones who continue on with it and perpetuate the lie, they'll go out there and because they go on this big cruise. You get this big cruise because you've gone clear, and it's just sickening shenanigans is what it is. But people get so tied up in it. It gives them this purpose. It makes them self-deify. It's very, very, very bizarre. Very bizarre that this is popular and prevalent as it is.
Ugh.
Yeah. To go down the rabbit hole.
And it's right here in flipping Clearwater.
Oh, yeah. It's a yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. There's,
Drink my tea bag.
Yeah, no. I wish I could tell you how many hours I had invested just like going down that, like, what is this madness?
I remember being young and seeing that and being like, Ron L. Hubbard, huh?
Mm.
And being confused, thinking that the Church of Jesus... Wait, no.
The
Jesus
Church of
Christ,
Latter-day
Saints, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That it was the same thing. Like, somewhere along the way, the commercials that would come up, and I was like, wait a minute. And then it was like, got a little older and was like, oh no, these are two different things.
Yeah, two way different things. That's so funny. I know I could see getting like the JWs and the LDS mixed up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're similar, like, they have like their own version of the Bible or whatever. Like they have that going for them. R.L. Hubbard he just wrote a bunch of BS and was like, yeah, this is...
I think it was just the way that it came on TV all the time because it was a commercial. Like you don't see commercials for Jehovah's Witness. You don't really see a lot of commercials for the Baptists. Not even for the Catholics, but the Latter-day and the...
I see.
And
okay.
Ron L. Hubbard, they were always on TV. Like it was always... And I was like, wait,
gotcha.
is that the same thing? Wait.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And I think it took about a year, maybe 2... I was 8
to realize that it was no, okay, so I could see the association where it's based on the advertisements that you're seeing of what they're... And
then the ones for the Latter-day Saints were, these sweet, wholesome, whatever. And I remember going,
like, wait.
But I thought we didn't like them because they were weird.
Because they were weird.
But they're like telling you to love people and be kind. Like, wait a minute.
You're like, what's going on?
I think that's when I actually paid attention to the commercial and went,
right, like, what's going on?
Oh, two different things. Okay.
It's so funny. No, if you ever, I don't know how many times you like to, or how many things, or what your interest level is for rabbit holes, but that one's definitely little Twilight Zone-y, but
right?
It's it's an interesting one to go down psychologically. If you like things that sort of make you think about those types of things. But I also like reading things about, like, the LDS and the JWs and all of the different, doctrinal things. In doing so, it often helps me with my own understanding of my own faith and how it differs and the comparison and the contrast. It's technically like practicing apologetics, having the reason for faith. But it's really interesting to read just the different things, the origins of where their source material comes from. And I think that's probably with R.L. Hubbard. It's like the source material. I don't know. And it's for somebody to say, don't question the source material. Don't question the source material. It's like, I don't know. I grew up with a dad who was like, question the source material. Investigate the source material. Look it up. That's what I grew up with, was, hey, check it out, investigate it, test it. That's what I grew up with. None of this, don't go looking. What do you mean don't
go looking? You're going to find stuff.
Yeah.
You might not be happy about what you find. But,
well, I was given that warning too.
But that's one thing we've done with all of our girls as well, is teach them how to think, not what to think.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, go look for it.
Use your critical thinking skills. That's what God gave them to you for. I mean, that's why you have them. However you want to.
Yeah. I say Lord gave them to you. Plenty of evidence to suggest such a thing. But go investigate yourself, please.
Figure it out. And, well, I think on some level, the majority of us have gone through something where we're like, do I really believe? Or do I just say I believe because my mom and dad always believed? Like, like at some point you step away and you look and then you make a decision for yourself.
Yes.
And so, you've got to be able to feel like you've got the freedom to ask the questions. And I don't think that God holds it against us when we do. I think he goes, ooh, that was a good question. Yeah. Did you get the answer?
Yeah.
Did you hear it when I told it to you? Did you see it when I showed it to you?
Yeah.
But I think he gets excited when we use our brains and we delve just a little deeper in. And
yes. Well, and that's part of it. He designed it within us. And that's one of the things, especially like within Bible study, when people are like, they'll sort of brush certain questions under the table. Like, I think what matters is at the end, like they don't even want to act like it's worth exploring, but it's like, but he puts those curiosities with, like, we want to explore that. And like, that was the first thing he told Adam to do. Explore what I gave you and name it. Call it what you will. Like, that's a part of us participating in creation, is figuring these things out. And it's always been just such a strange teaching to me that if somebody talked about, like, you can't ask certain questions, like, well, how do you think any of us knew anything?
Right.
Like, did you pay attention to what the disciples did with Jesus the entire time they were together?
And they had him.
Literally the entire time they're asking questions. The entire time. How about don't ask questions? Weirdos. Learn to ask questions.
Just make sure they're good ones.
Yeah.
Not dumb ones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Although the dumb ones will get you some interesting feedback sometimes.
That is true.
Like.
That is true.
You want some more?
No.
Is it almost time?
It is.
This has been a really good conversation. I'm gonna go. Still warm.
Nice.
Not hot, but warm.
It's a nice little teapot you got there.
My friend gave me that. Because she loved me. I so loved.
That is a nice one, though.
It is. It's so perfect. I use it also to, because I don't have a running tap in my outdoor kitchen, and so I'll use it to heat up the water So that way I can have hot water in the sink if I want to wash some dishes in my little sink. So it's nice to have hot water out there now, and I don't have to have a flash heater right away. So I'm happy about that. And when you leave, you'll have to check out my new and improved mini fridge. I'm so excited.
That's fun.
It's been quite a season, I tell you. What's your forecast looking like?
Oh, doctor's appointments. Yeah, it just the regular
Stink.
6 month checkup nonsense, blah, whatever.
So nothing like, you're going to be uncomfortable and naked and,
Thank God.
Yeah.
Firm believer that I don't need that one anymore anyway.
Like, we're done.
I was like, you need to save my life when I'm in my 20s and 30s. I've crossed the 50. Not as worried about it now.
It's like, I've lived a good full life.
I'm not worried about it.
Midlife.
Right, but the things.
Right.
All right, so and this conversation had come up, I'd say maybe a decade ago. So I would have been in my 40s then. But talking about breast cancer, mammograms, all of those things, and someone goes, you wouldn't want to know, you wouldn't want to do everything you could, and I was like, I guess it depends on when.
Yeah.
In my 20s and my 30s, I've got babies at home.
Yeah.
No, extend my life, like do all the things, because it would be worth the cost, because you do chemo, and bless everybody's heart who has to go through it, who does go through it, and that choice to do it.
Yes, yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yes.
It's slowly killing your body to save your body. What?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Such a contradiction. And at some point, there comes a time where that cost isn't necessarily worth it.
Right. Like, how do you
my gran at 80, and her kidneys are failing. They're like, dialysis, so that she can spend 8 hours today hooked up to a machine, feel like crap all night, all day tomorrow, wake up the next day feeling good enough to do something, but oh wait, she's got to go back for dialysis.
Yeah, and it's years of that.
Yeah. Where's her life?
Yeah.
So we extend her life for what purpose? Because she's not doing anything. She's not living. She's not experiencing. She's just surviving.
Well,
so what would be the point?
Yeah.
And so I'm like firm believer that they need to be offering, because a lot of insurance companies will not pay for your mammograms until after 40.
Yeah.
And then they'll only do them once a year. And I had a friend who she was in her 30s, had a lump, needed a mammogram. It was an act of Congress to get that sucker paid for by the insurance. And then the doctor's like, we want one every couple of months because we want to keep an eye on this. And they're like, no, we don't pay for more than what is.
You're like, but, okay.
That's the age you want them doing it. You need them checking, because this is when it would be beneficial. They're young enough that they would have the regular amount of health to survive that treatment and it not just completely wipe them out. Like, that's when you want it.
Yes, yeah.
You hit a certain age, you've done your thing, and you're like,
that's the thing, yeah.
The one thing will kill me or the other thing will kill me. I don't know. And then it can be a personal decision, but
at that time,
if you're going to be like, we only want to do them first, do it when you're younger.
Yeah.
Encourage them to do them when they're younger, and pay attention then, because that's when it's detrimental.
To catch it, yeah.
Because as you get older, everybody eventually, because we all live with cancer cells.
Yeah.
Like,
for me,
in our body.
It would probably depend on what kind of cancer it is, because have you ever seen what happens when a cancer is just left to its own devices? If it doesn't eat you from the inside and kill you, it will come to the outside. You will have gaping, eaten, rotting flesh.
And that's no bueno either.
Right, like there's no. So I think part of what chemo does is it prevents away from eating you, eating the outside. It's like maybe it kills the inside, but at least it'll keep you from getting the outside of you eaten. from certain types of cancers will do that. Not all of them, but there are certain cancers like breast cancer. You let it just go, your breast will get eaten. Like if you go to a third world country where they don't it's depending on the level or what kind it is, and it's really awful stuff. So it's almost like they're just trying to find a way to kill you in a more palatable way.
I remember my grandmother.
Or a more manageable way, maybe.
So, and you'll hear me do this with gran and grandmother, because there's two of them. Grandmother had cancer. I want to say I was in my early 30s when she had cancer, and the chemo was causing her to have blisters, burns on her hands and her feet
from the radiation.
And it's
or
like
chemo.
Yeah, from the chemo.
Like that, yeah.
But it was coming out in her hands and her feet. And I mean, she was in the hospital like her hands hurt so bad she couldn't wipe. And I'm like, yeah,
That's awful. Yeah.
I don't see that being beneficial.
Yeah.
Now, ended up, she's good. She is now 95, going on 96. Bless her heart. But I don't know if I would have made that decision.
Yeah. I always struggle
20 years
with
ago,
it too.
should have been in her 70s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said about just dying gracefully. Just accepting, I think I am grateful, and I'm not necessarily one of the people who believes that the medical industry itself is like evil or some arm of Satan. I think it's another one of those areas of the Lord has put it upon us to be explorers and problem solvers and creators, and the matters of the body and medical field is that as well. But I do also see and recognize that every part of our earth is infiltrated by people who will use those industries and those things and those opportunities for ill intent. And so I think part of my hesitation, say I were to come up against that, is just that I would get as many opinions as possible and seek out as many different modalities of healing as possible. Obviously not like Reiki or like weird spiritual crap that I know is seeking outside of what the Lord is providing. But I think what I've always been afraid of is being in the position where somebody's giving me the diagnosis or whatever in order to take advantage of me.
Right.
Because that happens far more often than in the industry is willing to. And the medical industry itself, it's just like, how the police force industry and things like that are really saturated with like a narcissistic personality type, controlling personality types, that sort of thing. Medical industry is really saturated with sickos who like to cut into people and do it for no reason sometimes, or just have a sense of control over other people's bodies. And I don't know, you can tell the difference between somebody who's there because they care about the bodies that are in their care, or because of some other sinister reason. Even
Right.
if it's just money, It's just, the whole industry is just, the less I have to deal with it, the better. And I think that's one of my biggest hesitations. It's like, if I have to go through a hard time to go through an actual healing, maybe that's fine. But if I have to be subjected to being a victim of a bunch of sickos, count me out.
Right.
Count me out. I don't want to be strapped to your bed. That's really where my, fear level, I guess, is about it. I'd rather, please, Lord, hit me with a bus.
May the aliens come and abduct me, Liz. my old supervisor used to go, you have to leave a paper trail because if you get hit by a bus, if you step off a curb and get hit by a bus, I'm like, do you really think I'm that stupid that I would step off a curb and get hit by a bus?
Oh, I would. I've almost done it, actually.
If anything's going to happen where I'm not here tomorrow, it's going to be the aliens have abducted me.
The aliens have come.
Stop trying to wish a bus upon me.
Take it up to the mothership, my friends. No.
I do use aliens as the in customer service with in the moving industry. People they get the worst case. What's the worst? What happens if and no. And one guy is like, what happens if the truck goes off the cliff? I was like, sir, could just stop. If aliens abducted the truck is gone and you have no things left, then this is what happens, okay? Yeah, I go, but please stop saying things that could actually happen. Like, please. If the truck cut off, that happens. Please don't say it. Just.
That is great.
You do not need to say that out loud. It will happen. Gosh, don't you know? Now, if aliens abduct the truck, dude, you've got a story to tell.
Right, yeah. That's get pictures.
You'll get a payout. But
oh, man.
Unless, of course, you took released valuation at 60 cents per pound because your stuff was only 3,000 pounds. 60 cents, yeah, you made nothing.
You're rattling those numbers off like you know them.
I mean, and I only had to repeat them for 12 years.
That's a professional right there.
But yeah, anyway. So yeah, I have a couple of doctor's appointments. What else is happening?
Oh yeah, speaking of medical industry, have fun with your doctor's appointments.
Yeah. It's a blood draw this week. Mm-hmm. Go see her the following week. So I'm going to do my blood draw and then go do a site survey. Then I feel like there's a lot on my calendar. And I've decided I've got 3 monitors at my Lakeland office.
Okay.
And I was going to keep the work schedule, the driver's schedule on the big one. And I've decided I'm going to put my calendar up there with my to-do list. Have my working stuff here, but have that so that a visual reminder of what I have got going on. I need something in the part of the reason why a calendar doesn't work, and because whenever I'm like, things don't work, I really try to figure out what it is about it that doesn't work. It's closed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why mine stays open on my desk all the time.
At some point, I have to carry it somewhere. I have to take it with me, which means it'll get closed, which means it'll go in the bag. Then I get distracted and I don't remember to pull it out. Yeah. So where am I actually looking at the calendar? Probably at work. I need it where I can see it. I don't need it where I have to turn. I gotta look under paper because the desktop ones, it's under paper, whatever. Yes. So I'm like, and I don't want to have to write on it, and no, I'm already here doing all the things, so typing into the calendar works. Okay, keep that in my visual. So I had that kind of epiphany today.
Good.
Can't wait to be back in my own office again. That will be nice. I'm aiming to be back in my office tomorrow afternoon.
Hey.
So we've been working over in Tampa, trying to get some things caught up, and it's very difficult to get caught up when everything you touch is a mystery.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so we're dealing with that, but hopefully we'll be far enough in that I can leave. My goal is to leave at noon. Go and finish up my day in Lakeland, but if it's the whole day, then it's the whole day, but I'm aiming not to be back next week. I want to be in my office doing my things. I have things I want to do.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to get back on track. But the following week, I've got a graduation, plus the follow-up with the doctor. And it really could be a virtual Like, seriously, I don't need to see you. You need to tell me.
Don't you love couldn't we do this in an email?
Because really, we
Just like a whole
could.
meeting. I'm like, okay.
Like, there's nothing in here that I can't see already and know.
Yeah.
And if you've got if there's an issue, then you go, yeah, come in. Otherwise, let's do it on a virtual so I can just save the gas. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. During COVID, that was nice because virtual. Thank you. Happy to do a virtual. Then they're like, but we need you to come in and step on a scale.
Can't I just take a picture of one?
Was
Me stepping on it?
Oh, when I had that, my tooth was bugging me last week, and so I went in to get antibiotics, and he's like, poor kid, he's like, do you happen to know how much you weigh? And I went, I have a pretty good guess. And he goes, do you want to step on the scale? I went, I don't ever want to step on a scale. I will, though, for the sake of science. And then I was pleasantly surprised. And I was like, yes!
Hey, there you go. That's not so bad. That's not so bad.
I was like, oh.
That's so funny.
Phew.
I'm in a season of my life where it's sort of exciting to step on a scale because I'm like, all right. I'm not what I was.
I've never liked being on a scale.
Yeah.
Like, I remember in my teens, my aunt and I don't know why she was so obsessed with her weight, but it became a competition. And then, like, I grew 6 inches taller than her, so of course I'm going to weigh more than you,
Yes.
and that's pretty normal, but I don't know, it was still a flex. But after that, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to say after 17, I really didn't care how much I weighed. Like, how do my clothes fit? That's what I care about.
Yeah.
And when I was pregnant with Carrie, I remember feeling like I looked really cute. Cute pregnant girl, right? It was so cute. And I go to the doctor and get on the scale, and they go, oh, you weigh. And whatever the number was, I went, oh.
I'm mortified.
I was like, oh, you can't do that anymore. And they were like, what? And I said, no.
Just put it in the chart. Move on with your
was
business.
I will stand on your scale. You will make your notes. I said, but I need you to put it in there that you will never say the numbers out loud. And they were like, really? And I went, because I came in here feeling good about myself, and I'm not feeling good now. And that was not good for my mental health. That was actually devastating. And I need that to not happen again. And they were like, but you're perfect. And I went, no, but that number, And I remember they did so good every appointment. And my last appointment, didn't know it was my last appointment, but my last appointment before I had her. And it was a new nurse, and she blah, blah, blah out loud. And I remember going, and she went, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. But then the next day I go into labor, and when I get there, they're like, do you happen to know how much? And I said, unfortunately, I do know exactly how much I weigh.
Well, then it probably happened for a reason.
But it was like they would have just put me on the either the wheelchair scale or the bed scale or stand on a scale. Like either way, but it was funny because I was like,
that is so funny.
I don't even remember what the numbers were. That's what's even funnier. Like
you were so devastated by it, but now you're like, oh, what was it?
I do not remember. And it was, I didn't care to know. I just knew I didn't like the sound of them. Those numbers sounded
that
big.
sucks. I don't like it. Don't do it again.
Don't do it again. But
that's
what's
good
funny is
you
that
set the boundary and they respected it.
They really did.
Thanks,
they
doctors.
Were good.
Good.
Nurses.
Thanks. Doctors.
I can't remember. No, my OB was actually very nice. They're one of the clinics where you have to meet every single doctor because you don't know who's going to be on call when you go into labor. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was one whose bedside manner was just.
Aww.
He was dry and just bleh. And I remember thinking, oh, I hope that he is not on duty when I finally go into labor, because no. And then there was the other doctor, like all the others were really nice, but there was the one doctor, and he was a guest at Bennigan's where I worked. And so I knew him, we had a fun rapport, and he was very kind. Like, I had a dumb question that I asked, and the reason I asked it was because somebody told me something, and I went, that doesn't seem right, but it seems almost logical enough, like maybe it could be right. So I'm asking, and and it was about belly buttons. Like, you have an innie or an outie, and they were like, you can have an innie or outie depending on how they tie the knot when they cut the umbilical cord. I was like, it didn't feel like it's a right answer. But I also don't feel like I could disprove that answer. So I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
And he didn't laugh at me. He didn't make me feel stupid for asking. He was just like, oh, well, no, it's actually because of this muscle. Either you have a very relaxed muscle or you have a very tight muscle. And if you have a tight muscle, it's an innie. And if you have a very relaxed muscle, it's an outie. And I was like, well, look at me learning things. Thank you very much. But he was a very kind guy. And I was like, my heart would not be broken if he was the doctor on duty. And so the day I go into labor, the one I hated was the one on duty. But they kept me waiting long enough to get to a room. By the time I got into the room, he comes in and says, bye. And I was like, we haven't had a baby yet. He goes, you're not having that baby anytime soon. And Dr. So-and-so will be here, at 7. He'll check on you then. And I was like, oh, all right then. And it's like 5 o'clock. So I'm like, so you really don't think anything's going to happen for 2 hours? Here's to hoping, I guess, right? 7 o'clock, doctor comes in. He's like, hey, how you doing? We make some jokes, ha, ha, ha. And then he checks, okay. And he's like, I'll see you in a little bit. And 7:20, we were pushing that baby out. I said, yep. I had it just the way I needed it to.
That's perfect. And that was Carrie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She was such a sweet child, so thoughtful, even at birth.
Yes, I was about to say.
After work, but not late at night, is like...
Very respectful.
7:20.
Good job, Carrie. Good job.
7:45, they have her over there, and I'm calling work. Well, I had the baby. And they go, well, you don't sound like you just had a baby. I said, didn't have drugs, so, I'm clear-headed right now. And it was all that adrenaline is what it was. But I was like, they wouldn't let me touch her. They had her over there cleaning her up and doing things. I was like, they won't give me my baby back. And it made me mad. So I figured I'd call work and talk to you guys. They were like, girl, we got it. Rest. And I was like, okay. By the way, I won't be into work tomorrow.
Just so you know.
And they're like, yeah, we figured. As a matter of fact, I was planning to go to work that night. And the other manager was like, yeah, all right, we'll see you tonight. Gets off the phone with me, calls the other manager, and is like, yeah, you're going to plan to be here all night when you get here, because she ain't coming in. She's having that baby.
I love that.
Yeah, he wasn't stupid. He'd seen it a few times, but that was funny.
How perfect that we got to hear your Mother's Day story.
Right?
The week of Mother's Day. That worked out so perfect.
And I didn't even plan that.
I know. We didn't plan that at all. That was just how the weather goes, I guess.
It really does. And that'll be a surprise for a certain somebody when she's listening later.
Yes. That's perfect. I love that.
But yeah.
Happy Mother's Day, my friend.
And thank you. Thank you very much.
It's been a really good conversation.
Thank you. All right. Till next week.
Till next week.
Thank you for joining Maxina Sunshine and April Snow on the weekly weather. Like and follow to catch our next conversation.